Hi everyone, and welcome to week 4 of Mass Communications and Criticism. This week we're going to continue on our inquiry about news and just look specifically at journalism. So I'm asking you to actually jump to chapter 10 in your textbook, The Media in Your Life. That's pages 252 to 277. Read those pages to coincide with what we were discussing about newspapers last week. This week I'm going to ask you to do 2 of the discussion threads. We also have a test your knowledge assignment and of course the live seminar, which again I hope you can all attend, but if you can't, you can always do the Dropbox, the seminar option 2, which asks you to go ahead and do the vocabulary. Don't forget, you need to do 6 seminars in this class for full points, so just a little reminder. Alright, so what are we going to look at this week? This week we're going to look at journalism and how the news affects us and how we receive it today. The first assignment I'm asking you to do with the discussion board is I want you to watch 30 minutes of 2 different news sources on your television or on the internet if you prefer to do a streaming kind of thing. I want you to look at either Fox, CNN, MSNBC News, or any other national big news service. Watch 30 minutes of that news service, and I want you to answer the following questions about each of the 2, because we're kind of doing a compare and contrast thing. 1, what type of news stories were mostly covered during your viewing time? What type of music was presented while you were watching the news stories? What type of visuals were offered? Was it just the normal person standing up and reporting the news, or was there also news tickers below the page? Was there sidebar information? So this is multi-level question. So not only what kind of images were you seeing on the presentation of the news story, such as a news crash, was it what looked like to be stock video, did it look like it was live video, what kind of video feed are you receiving from the news organization? Also, how are they presenting themselves and their news on an outline or format design-wise on that you are watching, with the tickers and the sidebars and all that other good stuff. Finally, did you feel that the news reporting was unbiased? If so, yes or no, and why? And this is the most important, is because how we've gotten our news and how we receive news today. I mean, some people get all their news from the Daily Show, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I like to watch the Daily Show as well, and I almost said Kurt Cobain, it's the wrong person. The Colbert Hour. So, and if you choose that as being your news source, you also need to say why. So I guess I wouldn't necessarily object to you looking at the comedy news shows as well, if that is how you get your news. But most definitely compare it to more of a traditional news source. Okay? So finally, I want you to answer how you physically felt and emotionally felt after watching the newscast. For example, some national news places such as MSNBC and Fox will leave me feeling rather exhausted after I watch 30 minutes of their newscast. But I have to say that's actually true for many of my local newscasts as well. So let me know how you felt about it afterwards. And then your next discussion thread is I want you to answer and consider the following questions. Pretend that a reporter was tracking your moves on the internet. If this someone investigated where you went on the internet today or this week, what would they think of you? So consider all the places you have gone on the internet this week, and all the things that you have clicked into, and all the social media you have gone on to, and all the little posts you might have made on your Facebook page or whatever. Consider what that means, or what that would mean to a reporter. If that was all the information they had about you, what would they say? What would that say about you? Next, consider whether it is right that the history of your movements can be mined by the government for investigations, or even by commercial interests for marketing purposes. For example, Google takes a lot of information about me and you, and so they can target ads to our interests. They actually kind of read our emails for certain words that lets them target the certain ads. Also, our search parameters, right? Finally, how does knowing that your steps can be affected and traced actually affect your use of the internet? Some people said, screw it. I mean, for me, example, I've gone public. I've decided that, one can only edit themselves on the internet so much. But then I haven't put any videos that I am necessarily ashamed of on the internet, or pictures for that matter. So, do you wish to edit yourself on the internet? Do you try to keep yourself private? If not, why? And if so, why? And let me know. And that's what we're going to be looking at this week. I look forward to your posts, and I look forward to talking to you. Take it easy, and I'll see you on the boards. Thanks. Bye-bye.